Here with another live stream, and today we have a special guest. We have Jason from Flashpoint Capital. And what's going on, Jason? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, David? How you doing? Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, anytime, man, anytime. So we're gonna pick his brain. We're gonna find out how he uses his travel credit cards and how he got his channel started and all that stuff. But first off, when you guys come in the room, just let me know you're here just by saying hello. So give me a little. Even if you don't say hello in the chat, a little thumbs up, emoticon, or hand up or something, just so I know you're here and I can give you guys a shout out. As well as if you guys, let's see, got a couple people in here right now. So hitting the like button always helps, and also just giving us that little thumbs up always helps. So we're trying to get more and more people in here. Yeah, hit the like.
Yeah, for sure.
For Jason's sake, man, you gotta make him feel good, right? So you gotta hit that like button.
Come on, guys, y'all gotta get in here.
All right, so let's let me set something up real quick here while I'm thinking about it. Okay, so we have a few people in the room right now. And Jason, you can see the chat, right? Or are you a little delayed? Or
well, I mean, I can see the chat a little bit.
Okay, so I will bring up questions, so you'll be able to see the questions. But let's give some shout outs real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see. We got Cornell. What's going on, brother? And we got Flashpoint. Wait, Flashpoint's in.
Hey, that's me. I'm in here, man.
Yeah. Dolly, what's going on, Dolly? How you doing? Patricia, how you doing?
Yeah, that's one of mine right there.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, shout out to Patricia.
Shout out to Patricia. Hey, what's going on, Sugar Skull? George in the building. Make sure you watch. Make sure you moderate there, George. Let's see. Will, what's going on, buddy? Just saw your last video, man. It was really good. For those of you who don't know, Will has a channel as well. We'll be getting him on the show sometime soon. I just got to reach out to him. But yeah, he's got a good channel. Will, if you can post a link to your channel, we can put that in here. He also talks about travel credit cards, so if you guys are interested in that, definitely go to his channel, subscribe, all that good stuff. Jessica, how you doing? And let's see, Bruce, what's going on? Had a long conversation with Bruce earlier. Bruce is a good guy, but we have differences when it comes to cards, but that's all right. Nate and Jess, how you doing? And let's see here. Credit Card Maestro, what's going on, brother? And we said hi. We said what's up to Dolly. We have Adam in the building. What's going on, Adam? And
Maestro, what's up, man? Doing good, dude.
Yeah. So this is what we'll do. We're gonna ask Jason a few questions, and then we open up the chat. So if you guys have questions or anything like that, travel credit card related, travel related, anything, any questions that you have specifically for him, just let us know. We'll go through the questions and pull them up for you guys. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about, Jason, is how did you get started? Like, how did you get started with points? Like, was this something that did someone turn you on to points, or how did this happen?
Well, I didn't really start thinking about earning points or trying to travel for free until about, I don't know, a little over a year and a half ago. And basically what turned me on to it was actually someone was trying to steal my identity. And my credit score had dropped like significantly. It was somewhere in the 300s, and it took me a while to try to recover my credit. People were trying to buy property out in California, and
wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. So that really made me focus on paying attention to my credit. And from there, once I saw my credit finally start to recover and get back up into the 700s, I got online, started, just Googling travel, how to travel for, little to no money. And basically I came across the points guy, and that was that. And, I started kind of looking up the 524 and everything like that. And that's kind of how it all started. And I've kind of been hooked ever since.
Oh, okay. And so let's talk a little bit about your credit. You said someone was trying to steal your identity. How did you go about getting that corrected? Because I know a lot of people would probably be interested in that.
Well, so I actually had to put a freeze on all three credit bureaus with Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, just so that I could get alerts and nobody could have access to my credit, my credit file, period. I'm not exactly sure how my information got out there. Maybe it was some type of hack that happened and I just wasn't made aware of, my information being exposed. But I had to file police reports. I had to, it was a long, drawn out process. It took me about 2 or 3 years to finally recover it all the way back to where it should have been. And the only thing I ever had on my credit was student loans. And that's from whenever I was in college. And basically, I never had any, assets under my name in terms of properties or anything. And then, come to find out that I had all of these properties under my name and nobody was making payments on those properties. So I had all these negative payments being reported. It was just crazy. So that was kind of like my initial gateway into, credit card points and miles, just because I had to really focus and dial down and pay attention to my credit moving forward from that. Once, from that initial me finding out, that my credit was, basically ruined.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And how long, did you say how long it took for that process to?
Yeah. It took about three years.
3 years. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It took a while.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. We all hear about the horror stories like that. I've had some little things happen here or there, but I've never had someone like completely steal my identity. I've had them steal like you get your credit card information, your debit card information. I've had that happen.
Yeah, exactly. That happened to me recently as well. So, yeah.
Oh, really? Well, tell us about that. What happened? What happened with that?
So I around my area, it seems like we have a gas station called Valero, and I'm not sure if anyone out there in the space is familiar with it, but in this area, they seem to be, kind of the main point for people to go, all those credit card hackers or whatever they are, they go and they do the skimmers underneath the gas, the gas station. And, sometimes they have it in stores and everything like that. But then I also heard of, people at restaurants, like your actual waiter, doing that as well. Like they'll go and they'll skim your card and get your information. So I had my Marriott Bonvoy Business American Express, and I had put, I'd left all my cards. I usually wouldn't have put dinner on that card, but I used it. And, turns out the next day someone was out at like a Chevron or something like that, one of those gas companies, and they were putting like $600 worth on that card. So I had to call American Express and have them shut that card down. They sent me a new one with a new number. So that happened probably about 3 weeks ago.
Wow. Yeah. And I was always taught, like, when it comes to credit cards, you should use your credit card when you go to the restaurants. You shouldn't use your debit card because your debit card it's tied to your bank. So you don't want them to get into your bank account. But if they get into your credit card account, that's bad too. But it's not as bad because they can't completely wipe out your checking account or your savings account. So yeah, that's one thing that I use my credit card anyway now for all my purchases. But prior to that, at that time, I was using my debit card, and I had a similar situation to Jason where someone got my information and they took out $600. They just took it out of my account in one day. And so that stuff does happen. This is out of my debit account, not out of a credit card. But since then, even if you don't use your credit cards for all your purchases, if you go to an establishment where that card leaves your site, or like, you go to a restaurant, it's very common for you to put your card in the little little folder thing they bring out, and then they take it and then they come back with your receipt. Right. Any situation like that, always use your credit card, because it's a lot easier for them to take those, take the fees off of a credit card than it is for them to go into your bank account, because they have to open up an investigation and all that stuff. So it takes a little bit of time. Right. So, all right. So let's talk about your YouTube channel. So you have a YouTube channel now. How did that all transpire? Like, I think it's fascinating when it comes to YouTube channels because we all start them for different reasons. But I'm just interested, like, what got you into that whole? Let me start a YouTube channel and talk about travel credit cards.
Well, I mean, after finally being able to recover my credit and all that stuff and, getting my first points earning cards and everything like that, I started just getting real deep into, it's almost like it's like a rabbit hole that you fall down. And basically, like, the more you get into it, the more you want to know. And so, like, I'm a person that, like, I just love, self-improvement. And, I have a ton of books back here behind me that you probably can't see, but it's not a ton, but I mean, it's some really important books that I feel like I've grown personally from. But so I'm always real big into research and trying to learn more, anything that I don't particularly know. So, I felt like all of the information that I was getting from just, doing all this research, I felt like I just wanted to share it and let people know. And to be honest, I didn't know that there were other people out there in the space just like me, that were trying to do the same thing, or people that are already established, like Sebi and Shifu. Those guys are kind of the main two, in this niche in particular. But I was completely unaware of this whole thing, and I didn't know it was a thing. Whenever you start something, you always feel like you're the first one to do it, but it turns out that you're really not. Like, there's a ton of people kind of doing it at the same time. So, I just felt like I wanted to share this and, share all this information to help people either, try to avoid these credit scams, to try to help their finances, and to, try to travel for free with credit card points and miles. I think, the world is out there for us to explore. And, I don't think any one person is, meant to just be stuck in one place for their entire life. I think the world is meant to be seen. So I wanted to try to earn as many points as I possibly could and kind of give some tips on how I got them, and, give people some information on how to maximize their spending. So that way they could take, a couple of trips here and there. And when you think about it, it's a lot easier to travel on points and miles just from your everyday spending than it is to have to save up for a vacation throughout, a particular amount of time over the course of a year. So I think, points and miles are extremely valuable, especially now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I mean, it takes a while to learn it. I mean, to get into the whole points thing, it does take a while. It's good now that, like you're saying, you have people on YouTube that are putting out content on a constant basis. Sure. And I was just like you, Jason. I got started with the points guy. He was the first one. I started looking at his blog, and then he had some stuff on YouTube. He doesn't really do much on YouTube. I think he actually switched over. He has another channel now.
Yeah, I think he has his own personal channel. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, that's where I learned the vast majority of what all the points, all that good stuff. But from that point, so you have points right now.
Yep.
Have you made any redemptions yet? What's your plan as far as using your points?
Actually, I just did a redemption just recently. I think you mentioned it yesterday on your live stream. I did, I transferred 10,000 points over to a Hyatt place, to Hyatt, and, using some Chase points, and I saved almost, I would say around $375, including the amount of people that I had staying with me, the size of the room. And it comes with free breakfast. So I saved somewhere around $375 just on that trip alone. It was kind of a spontaneous trip. But 10,000 points is not that much. I mean, I could recoup 10,000 points in, a course of, me personally, with my expenses for my business and everything like that, it'd probably be like 2.5 months that I'd recoup that, 10,000 points, just depending on what card I'm trying to maximize. So, yeah.
And the equivalency, I mean, it's $100, 10,000 points, 1 cent per point. If you look at it at that value.
Yeah, exactly. So I actually ran the numbers, and it came out to around 2 cents per point. Yeah. So that's still pretty good value in my opinion. So.
Yeah. So that's a definitely a good redemption. Now, as far as other redemptions, anything else? I mean, I know you're getting married soon.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
are you planning on anything as far as honeymoon?
Yeah, actually, so I'm kind of on the fence between two different locations. I really want to go to the Maldives, and I have some Hilton points and I have some Marriott points that I am not using. I'm kind of just hoarding those points, and lately I've just kind of been trying to rack up as many points as I possibly can, and just minimize the usage. I know they always say you want to earn and burn, but sometimes for those really nice trips that you want to go on, sometimes you just kind of you do what you have to do. And so I think that's where the value comes in with Chase points, and it comes in with American Express points, because their value typically seems to stay consistent at or around 2 cents per point. So I think that's amazing on both parts. So the one or two places that I'm trying to go on is either the Maldives or to the Seychelles. And the Seychelles, most people, every time I mention the Seychelles, they don't really know of the Seychelles. So they're always like, well, what's that? Where is it? And so I'm like, look, you have to Google it, or you have to put it in your Google Maps, and you have to look at it. And it's like in the middle of nowhere. It's a small little island. And I got the idea because I was doing some research, and I saw that, God dang it, I forget who's the Prince of England. Harry, is it Harry?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know that royalty stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. But I saw someone say, hey, we really wanted to go to the Seychelles because we saw that they did it, and so I'd never heard of the Seychelles, and so I went ahead and did my research on the Seychelles, and I mean, lo and behold, it's like one of the most gorgeous places on the planet, I think. So I think it might even top the Maldives. It just really depends on what your style is. I mean, they're both pretty much the same, but I think this one might top out the Maldives in general. So
Wow.
yeah, so I'm really kind of focused on that one. But in worst case scenario, then I would settle for the Maldives.
All right. That sounds good, man. Sounds like a plan. So how have you even thought as far as how you're going to go about it? Like Seychelles, or what's on that island, or I don't even know. Is it a series of islands? What hotels are there? Do you know what points you need to use in order to redeem there?
Yeah, actually, I haven't gone too far into it. It is like just a group of islands, and I haven't done any research on what hotels, just because I feel like I'm still a little ways away from that moment. So normally I try to go about 6 months in advance and try to start looking for bookings, because if you try to go too far out, then most places don't allow you to, really search out that far for award redemptions or anything like that, or just for availability in general. So I'm just going to kind of hold off on looking for anything, just because what'll happen is it's going to give me that urge to want to just go. Like, I want to go now, rather than wait. So I'd rather kind of just leave it out of sight, out of mind until I'm ready to actually go.
Sounds good. All right. So everyone wants to know, what cards are you using? So what do you use kind of on a regular basis? What's your routine? And do you use travel credit cards for your everyday spend, or are you only using it for certain purchases?
No, I use travel credit cards for everyday spend, and I pay the balances off literally once I make that transaction. If the app for whichever credit card I use will allow me to pay it, I will pay it right then and there, and I do not even allow it to show a balance. Like once it's pending, I try to pay it, so that way I'm kind of in the red, so to speak. And most people think in the red is bad when it comes to credit cards, but if you're in the red, that means they're going to credit you back that money, or it's going to be made zero once your stuff comes out. But the cards that I'm using for my everyday spend are my Chase Ink Unlimited. I have a couple of things that I don't necessarily use all the time, but I have stuff on autopay just for those categories. So whenever I travel right now, since I don't have the Chase Sapphire Reserve, I'll use my Chase Ink Preferred to book any travel. Okay. Whenever I go dining, I will do, obviously, if people who watch my channel, they see that I have an American Express Gold card. So I always use the Amex Gold for my dining. And then I use the Chase Freedom for the 5% rotating categories. And then now I'm putting a lot of my spend on my Hilton Ascend card. And the reason for that is because since that card doesn't come with an annual award night every year, just like a guaranteed award night, I want to try to get that. If you meet that 15K spend and, over the course of the year, you'll get that free award night. So I'm about to actually move. So I've been putting all of my expenses on that card for this moving process. And basically that's just kind of where I'm at right now. Those are really the only cards I'm using.
Okay. And do you have any cards in mind, like in the future, cards that you have your eye on at this point?
Yeah, actually, so I'm currently sitting at 524, and that Hilton card put me at 524, but I'll drop out of it back, I think, in September. You usually have to wait a month, so I'll be like my 2-year mark for one of my cards will come up in August, so I'll have to wait at least till September to apply for a new card. But I'm looking at either the World of Hyatt card or the JetBlue card, and I've flown JetBlue one time, and the experience that I had on a JetBlue plane was just I think they were very exceptional in terms of the service that they provided. So I'm trying to figure a way out how to get both of them. So I may go for like a JetBlue business card, so that way it doesn't report to my personal score, and it doesn't add to my 524, and then I'll go after the World of Hyatt afterwards. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment.
Okay. Yeah. JetBlue it's a great card, man. I don't have the card yet. I should say it's a great card. It's a great card to get. It's on my list as well.
Right. Yeah.
I do like flying on JetBlue. JetBlue is a good experience. And as far as Skytrax, they rate all the airlines all over the world. And JetBlue, as far as American airlines, U.S. airlines, JetBlue was ranked the highest. They were ranked 40th out of 100.
Yeah. No, I think if you're rated above any of the of the local stuff, basically, so to speak, then you're doing a pretty good job, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we don't do well, and I put a video out about that. We don't do well when it comes to ranking, airline ranking. So we have a lot of room to grow, but JetBlue seems to at least be on top when it comes to the U.S. air carriers. Then it fell down to Delta was right after that, but we have some room to move up. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. We have a question. So if you guys have questions right now, please put it in the chat, and then we'll go over some of these questions. We have was that Chief Shadi? Go ahead. You got something to say? Go ahead.
Yeah. So I got 2 subscribers. I appreciate you guys, Denisa Brooks and Jessica R. I really appreciate you guys for subbing to my channel. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys for stopping by and subscribing to his channel. All right, so Shadi has a question. How'd you get Flashpoint? How did Flashpoint come up with
my name? Yeah. Okay. So this is actually so I'm kind of a nerd on the DL, I'm just very geeky. Like, I don't know, like people, I obviously, like, I'm not wearing glasses with a little piece of tape in the middle or anything like that and sitting here looking like this. But I love comic books. I love like just anime stuff. I'm an all around kind of guy, and anything, I'm pretty open-minded in terms of anything, honestly, in general. So, The Flash was one of my favorite characters growing up. Like, obviously, I'm not sitting here trying to market their stuff or anything like that, but I love all of the Marvel movies as well and all that. But what happened to me with my credit and having to recover, what came to my mind whenever I was trying to think of my channel name was, basically like Flashpoint is like an alternate universe in like the comics for the Flash, right? And so for me, I was like, okay, well, if I'm trying to help people do all of these things, like, you know, fix their credit, have better finances, and travel with travel credit cards, then basically my whole premise behind the name was like, I'm trying to get you guys into that alternate universe where you guys can, you know, live a better life than what you're living today. So that, I mean, it's kind of a nerdy way of, you know, just kind of, you know, just thought process basically when it came to the channel. And so yeah, that's basically it, man. That's where I got my name from, just because I'm a nerd.
Because you're a nerd. No. You got it. All right. Let's see. Dolly has a question. So do you do anything special now when you go to the gas station? Have you changed any of your habits as far as like?
I just avoid the gas stations now that have, you know, that those instances have happened. So basically it's only ever happened at 2 different gas stations in my area. And so I just avoid those, and I will completely, like, if I have to push my car and I'm on E, I will do that. I don't care, just because it's such a hassle for me I feel like it's a hassle to have to call the company, and what was crazy was that I had to wait, you know, they wouldn't expedite my card. So I had to wait at least a week and a half until I got my card back. And, you know, I wasn't able to really maximize my spending on that card because, you know, I like having diversified points currencies. And so I wanted to start trying to accumulate a little bit of Marriott points. And then it also happened to my Chase Inc. Cash card. And so, you know, I was trying to hit the minimum spend on that card. And so, you know, it gets 2 points on gas. So I was like, okay, well, let me just go ahead and get some more Chase points. Why not? And then it happened there. And, you know, it took Chase about a week to get my card back. And, you know, I had to basically shut all of those auto payments down and put them on a different card where I wasn't maximizing the spend. So, you know, if I have to, I'll just get a workout in and I'll just go push the car.
Wow. Okay, so Patricia says that you've helped her credit, you know, increase her credit by 70 points. So that's good, man.
Awesome. Awesome, Patricia. I'm glad I was able to help you.
Yeah, there you go. A testimonial right there.
Yeah, right there.
We got to take a screenshot of this.
Right. Let me pull my phone out. Let me pull it out right there. There it is, right there. Had to take that picture.
All right. Let's see. Other questions. So if you guys have questions, go ahead and shoot right now. Let's see. Okay, so Bruce is talking about the trifecta. You have any plans of getting any other, like, Chase? I know you said the next card you're looking at was JetBlue, and then what was the other one?
It was the World of Hyatt.
World of Hyatt. Any plans? I mean, I know you're at 524 right now. So for those of you who don't know, 524 basically Chase will allow you to get open, or Chase has a rule. It's like an unwritten rule where you can only have 5 new accounts open in a 24-month period. So once you go over that 5, then they won't allow you to get any new cards until some of those cards fall off. So some of those cards fall off after 24 months.
Right.
Do you plan on getting like the Chase Sapphire Reserve, or are you looking at any other cards?
Well, you know, a while back you did a card review, or I think it might have been a live stream about the Chase Sapphire Preferred, right? Mm-hmm. And I recently just did a video on the same card, and I honestly think, I mean, it's a good starter card, but it really gives you no value. So I made the mistake of going for the Chase Sapphire Preferred. And the reason why I did it was because it was offering that no annual fee intro with the 50,000 points sign-up bonus. Mm. And so I was like, well, if I can downgrade in year 2, then, you know, I might as well take advantage of this, just get the sign-up bonus, and then not have to ever pay an annual fee for that card. So, lately my mind has been changing, though, because, you know, believe it or not, I was really planning on going after the Chase, well, not the Chase card, sorry, the American Express Platinum card. And I was actually going to go for the Charles Schwab Platinum card because I have an investor account with Charles Schwab. And like, that, after American Express is, I mean, people, like, if you get into the Reddit communities or if you're on Flyer Talk or anything like that, like, people get so, what's the nicest way to say this? Butthurt. There's really no nice way to say it, but they get upset whenever you say anything about not being able to use the credit hacks or the credit card hacks that we've been able to get, these perks from. So if people don't know about the credit card hacks with American Express, they have the $100 or $200 airline fee credit, and usually you were able to get on a desktop, get onto Delta or Southwest and buy gift cards. And, as of, I think Will mentioned it in the WhatsApp group, and he was saying that, around 620, they've kind of like shut that down. So I think personally I would be able to get those credits because I intend to at least travel maybe 3 or 4 times a year after this year. But, that kind of turned me off to that particular card in general. So it really made the Sapphire Reserve look more desirable. So I'm actually thinking about upgrading my Sapphire Preferred to the Sapphire Reserve. And, because their $300 travel credit is, it's broad. So it's not, regulated to having to only do it through flying or anything like that. It's just travel in general. So I think that credit is a lot more valuable now.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. Nate and Jess, they just subscribed to your channel, and they're glad that you decided to stop in for the live stream. And I really appreciate you stopping in.
Hey, man, Go ahead. No, hey, I appreciate you guys, Nate and Jess. Thank you guys. I really appreciate y'all subscribing to my channel. But first off, man, like, I didn't get a chance to say it because my nerves were going. Being on this live stream, like, it's, people are actually watching and commenting.
There's nobody watching. Nobody's here.
Yeah. No, man. No. So my nerves were just like I was all up in here. Just I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, man. Yeah. So I appreciate you reaching out to me and asking me to be on your channel. When I first started making videos, I was like, anyone who's got 5,000 or 6,000, even, 2,000 would never even like bother to ask me to come on their channel. So the fact that you did that and, you've kind of introduced me to your audience, I really appreciate that.
Anytime, man, anytime. Like I said, I'm always there to I want to grow this whole community.
Yeah.
And I know, like, we talk. There are some guys that are at the top right now when it comes to SWB.
Yeah, they've been doing it for a lot longer. Well, they've been posting a lot longer at least. Yeah.
But I want to build a strong community. I think the live streams are really popular, and they're good in the sense that we can respond back and forth. We can do kind of the back and forth thing. If people have questions, we can answer those questions right off the bat, as opposed to the common practice now is just to put the videos out and not do any live streams. So that's what I want to try to bring to the table. And so, I'm definitely always looking for people to come on and do live streams with me and just talk about their experience. Like I've been talking to you for the last week and a half, and I didn't know about how you lost, how your credit got real bad and
man,
filling your identity until I think last night we talked about it. But other than that, I didn't know this whole time. So it's good to share that kind of information because it will definitely help other people. Let's see. Let's go ahead. All right. And now is a good time. Thank you, Dolly, for reminding us. Thumbs up. Let's give the video a like so we can bring more people in. As you guys like the video, they will promote it out. YouTube will promote it out.
Yeah, guys, there's 27 people watching right now, and there's only 19 likes. There should be 27 likes. Come on, guys.
So just get the likes up. That would be great. I appreciate that. All right, so let's see. Who's ranting? Let's see. Final rant. Let's see what's going on. Final rant. I've never flown JetBlue yet. But I do like to travel in style. Laugh out loud. So yeah, and I'm not gonna say JetBlue is luxurious. I like the customer service of JetBlue, so I like the flight attendants. They're very attentive. They pay attention to you. I've been on several flights, United and American Airlines, and yeah, you have some of, I don't know. I don't want to. Yeah, I'm not just going to badmouth the companies, but I'm just going to say customer service in JetBlue for me was a lot better experience than some of the other airlines that I've been on, and that goes a long way.
Yeah,
Plus,
no,
JetBlue
definitely.
they have the mint class seats, so the business class seats, which are nice, but they also have like the even more seats, which a lot of planes have them now, where you have a little more leg room. So you don't have to spend that much money in order to get seats like that. And if I'm flying to South America, it's perfect because I can just do the even more seats as opposed to getting like a business class seat and paying a little extra. So actually paying a lot extra in points or in cash. So, all right. Let's see. Any other questions, guys? Go ahead and put them out there. Let's see here. Okay, you guys are going back and forth.
Mhm.
Any tips, Jason, for like improving your credit? I know you went through all that stuff. Did you have to do anything? Like, did you get someone to handle your like that whole situation? Did you have to write letters? How does that all
You know,
play
man,
out?
when I was going through all of that, I was I was just starting my business. And so you could imagine someone just starting a business and having really bad credit. So basically what happened was I went full ham, dude. Like I just went in and I started researching a ton of things. And I actually came up with my own three steps, my 3 dispute letters that I sent to the bureaus myself. And basically I was able to start, challenging all of those reportings that they were making on my credit file. And, finally it came down to where I was starting to have to go and like I had to send letters letting them know that I was prepared to file suit on them had they not, removed anything. And I threatened them with like, $1,000 per wrongful reporting item on my line on my credit report. And sure enough, they kind of just they folded, and I was able to recoup my credit that way. Luckily for me, it happened that way. Some people are not as fortunate to send all 3 dispute letters, or just even be able to come up with because it's a lot of legal verbiage that you have to figure out, and you have to know, and then you also have to do your research on like the credit reporting section 609, like things like that. Like there's a lot. Like you have the Fair Credit Reporting Act. A lot of people don't really know about SageStream either. So, I know you're about to have how to build credit on your channel. So I would leave that to him. I don't want to take any of his thunder from the next, show. So, yeah, but for most people,
No, that's all right though. I mean, we all have different experiences. So if you have stuff to share, have you put any of this on your channel yet? As far as your,
I have. So my first videos were, I mean, as you know, your first videos are not the greatest. So
yeah, we all say the same thing. You look back at those old videos, it's like, what?
And so exactly. So I look like a complete ghost on my channel. Like I think I had the light, like too much light exposure on my face, and so my lighting was just like overbearing on my face, and so you couldn't really see me. And it's all a learning process when you're trying to produce your own stuff and put it out there into the on the line. I don't know if you guys watch the Internship movie, but anyways, so yeah, man, like it's I have some of the videos about credit and hard inquiries and everything like that. Some of my first videos were about credit, and I saw that they weren't getting a lot of traction. So my 2 most viewed videos, I believe, are about Ultra FICO and Experian Boost. And then, I had an update video recently on Experian Boost because I was actually able to get in contact with people who are actually involved with the Experience Boost product itself. And, I asked them a ton of questions. So that way I was able to actually put together quality information. So nobody was getting misinformed on certain things, because there's people out there that, they'll Google it, but they won't go as far as to trying to reach out to the company itself and the people who are actually heading that department to ask, those questions. And I did. And a lot of the other, sorry, can't speak. A lot of the other videos I was seeing, people were just giving bad information. So I felt like it was necessary for me to make that update video. And, I'm always happy to answer questions, when people comment in the comment section or anything like that.
Okay, cool. Okay. All right. So Rule has a comment to make. Basically, he's saying that why is everybody praising Hyatt? He can't find a single Hyatt in New Jersey.
You got to get out of Jersey, man.
Maybe that's it. But what do you? I mean, was that the first Hyatt property that you stayed in? And
yeah, actually, it was. Well, no, before. Well, that's the first time I stayed at a Hyatt using points. But I stayed at Hyatt places before, and honestly, I never really paid attention to them. I didn't pay attention to anywhere I stayed, to be honest, up until about, like I said, a year and a half ago, when I was, learning the points and miles game. I was like, oh, I start looking at what properties, what the transfer partners are for each program that I was a part of. And yeah, I mean, now I really look and I analyze, like, the type of product or the type of service that I'm going to be getting with these programs. And I think that's important, so that way you can make the travel experience that much better.
Yeah. And when it comes to Hyatt, the reason why we praise Hyatt, or we talk about Hyatt so much, is the fact that your points go a lot further with Hyatt than they do with all the other hotel brands. So you have Hilton, you have Marriott, you have IHG. Those are the, like, IHG and then Hyatt. Those are like the four majors. And did I say Marriott?
Yeah, you did.
Marriott. Okay, so those are your four majors, and your points with Hyatt will go so much further. Just like Jason was saying, he was using 5,000 points each night to stay at a Hyatt place, which is that's the best value that you're going to see. You're not going to see anything lower than that for the most part, unless you get on the IHG. They have like these little Point Break sales where you might be able to get a better redemption or that same level redemption. But that's the reason. That's the big reason why we always talk about Hyatt, because they're nice properties, and for the points that you're using, you don't have to use that many points. And if you have a Chase ecosystem, if you have a lot of points in Chase, then it works out really well for you, because you can transfer those points right over to Hyatt and use that for a stay. All right, so let's see. Share my screen. I want to share the screen real quick. So New Jersey, I don't know where you're living.
Yeah, so you should. So Jersey boy, I don't want to ruin your name, man. I can see it, and I just rather not butcher it. I want to say, I'm not even going to try. So go to the World of Hyatt app and download that and sign up for the membership. And if it not all Hyatts have the name Hyatt on them, so just make sure, like, whenever you're Googling or looking up anything, just go to the app and type in the location that you want to travel to, and it'll give you all of their all of their locations that they have, or that are that they own, basically. So
yeah, and I pulled it up here on the screen. It's just loading. It's taking a long time. But you do have some properties out there, some Hyatt properties in New Jersey. And like I said, I don't know exactly where you live, or if you want to even have a place near where you live. But you see, and they have the point values on here too. So 8,000 points, that's per night, or $226. That's a Hyatt place there. So Hyatt place, that's a nice setup. And one thing actually that we're on here now, I guess here's a 5,000 point. So that's a category 1, $159. The thing that I look at when it comes to value, so we'll look at this one right here, that's $5,159. So 5,000 points. I say I shouldn't be saying and. It's 5,000 points for a free night or $159 if you want to pay cash.
Yeah, exactly.
So in a case like this, what you look for and what I look for is I'm trying to get as many points, as many cents per dollar as I possibly can.
Right.
So looking at that 5,000 points here, let's say if it's 1 cent per point, if it's 1 cent per point, that's $50. Okay, so that's for 5,000. That's the equivalent. Okay, so with $159, I'm getting 3 times that much. So I'm getting 3 cents per point, which is really great value. So that's when you want to say, yeah, this is definitely a good deal. Now, if that room happened to be $50 a night, it wasn't $159, but it was $50 a night, and I needed to use 5,000 points. In my mind, that's not a good value. That's 1 cent per point. I'll just pay the cash because I know that I can redeem in a different hotel or something. I can redeem for this value, and it's a better value. I can get 3 cents per point as opposed to getting 1 cent per point. So if I'm around 1 cent per point, I'm paying cash. I'm either paying cash or I'm going to another hotel because it's just not a good fit for me.
That's the situation where I would pull out the Ink Unlimited with the 1.5 cents, per dollar spent and just pay it on that card. And, at least you're getting the most value right there.
Or you get the World of Hyatt card and you sign up for the membership. Yeah. And then you get 9 points, 9 points for every dollar you spend.
Exactly.
So you do have some places out there in New Jersey. Yeah, just pull up their website, and like Jason was saying, they're not all Hyatt. It won't say Hyatt in front of the name. Like the Ocean Resort Casino, that obviously doesn't say Hyatt. Another thing, if you guys didn't know, and if you go to Las Vegas, if you stay at the MGM Mirage property, so MGM, Mandalay Bay, Circus, Luxor, Excalibur, Monte Carlo changed their name, but I think they're still a part of the program. Bellagio, stay at any of those properties. The Mirage, of course, Treasure Island, which is now TI, I guess. And so if you stay at any of those properties, they have a partnership with Hyatt. So you can use your points to stay at some of those properties as well. It's not a guarantee, though, that you can use points to stay at any property with Hyatt. It's not a guarantee that you can use points to stay for a free night. Actually, I take that back. I think you can use points for every hotel, but some of the points might be, high. You might be in the like 25,000 point categories. And so in Las Vegas, kind of lost my train of thought. In Las Vegas, yes, you can use points to stay at some of those properties, and you can still earn points when you stay there, as well as you can get whatever. They give you those little cards, the rewards cards that they give you at the casinos, and some of those cards are good because if you have status with Hyatt, you can go there and they will give you a similar status. Sometimes they won't match you with their top status, but they'll give you some status, so sometimes you can get in, have the special lines that you go through and all that without having to be a player. Not having to play, you can do that.
Yeah, so I can actually, I would like to actually add to that. So I'm taking a trip to Chicago sometime soon, and I had booked a hotel through Marriott, right? Because I had the Marriott Bonvoy Business American Express. I was able to get the 100,000 point sign up bonus from it, and so I started looking at trying to redeem those points out there, and I was able to get it at like 1.8 cents, and that's pretty good for Marriott points because they're usually at like 0.8. So I changed my mind like a couple of months ago, probably about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, and I started looking at Hyatt, and I ended up changing to a different hotel, and that hotel was the Chicago Athletic Association, and that's right across from Millennium Park. It's like one of the big tourist attractions. I'm like Chicago. That's probably like my favorite city. I have basically all my family's there, so like that hotel, it's a really good redemption because I'm only spending I think it's 15,000 points a night, and it was somewhere around like 4 points, or 4 cents per point that I was getting at a value for just staying for those 2 nights. So Yeah. So Hyatt's always really good, especially, with Chase points, of course. So
Yeah, it's a good setup, definitely.
yeah.
Okay, so we have how to get an 800 credit score. So I'm guessing you have a channel. So if you do, let us know if you have a channel so we can give you a plug. And if you can post a link in the chat. I have a different chat box open today, so I don't know if I have full control over everything. I'll have to see. But anyway, he says that he subscribed to both of our channels.
Okay.
And
I appreciate it, man.
he's interested. He's glad to meet more people in the credit building community. So yeah, thank you for subscribing to the channels, and definitely if you have a channel, let us know so we can bring you in and give you a shout out so people can go check your channel out.
So I see final rant. So my personal credit had no bearing on my business credit. It was a question there. I just wanted to answer that. And basically, but it was very difficult to establish my business because of my personal credit. And, I was looking to lease, commercial space and everything like that. And it was actually very difficult. So what I ended up having to do was contract out of, an established business already to be able to conduct my business. Obviously, I had to pay a rent to them to be able to conduct business where they were located. But once I was able to, get everything back up to, in the mid 700s, then I was actually able to get a leasing spot, where I felt like where I was going to be able to thrive as a business owner. And so that's the one thing people don't understand with business credit. It does rely heavily on your personal credit to establish it. They do, it does sometimes take a personal guarantee, just like with the business credit cards. They do ask for your social security because no matter what, it's a personal guarantee. Just because it's under your business's name, you're still personally liable for any debts that card, assumes. So just, guys, just be aware of that.
Yeah. What steps did you take? Because I have a few business cards as well. I have a photography business. So what steps did you take in order to just for the audience? What steps did you take to, like, when you applied? What was the process? Did you do sole proprietor? How did you go about that?
Yeah, so actually, I have an LLC. So over here in the state that I'm in at the moment, an LLC is relatively cheap. It costs $300 just to establish an LLC, and you don't have to pay any fees moving forward. It's just a one-time fee, and basically, you're basically all it does is just tells you that you're a limited liability company and your taxes have changed. You're in a different type of tax kind of bracket, so to speak, or the way you file them is different now. So basically, that's what I did, and then I also was given an EIN number, and some people, I think. Brian Jung has made a video on this.
Yeah, I just saw that video. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it? Okay. So yeah, he just made a video on how to apply for an EIN number, and you can just do that through irs.gov, and you can be a sole proprietor, and then you just kind of put all of your information that you have. So that's I was already kind of established in a sense. So I didn't go through any extra steps to get an EIN number. It was already kind of given to me once I completed my LLC, application and everything like that. So, so once I applied for the credit cards, I just put in my information, and that was that.
Yeah, and if you don't have an LLC, in my case, I don't have an LLC, so I'm a sole proprietor. And so when I applied, I have 4 business cards right now. I have the United Explorer Plus business card, the Chase Inc. Business Plus card, the Chase Inc. Unlimited card, the Chase Inc. Cash card. So I have all 4 of those cards. And I just signed up sole proprietor, my name, David Clark Photography. And then when it came to the the tax ID number. I didn't use a tax ID number. I put my social security number. So they tell you on the application, it says social security number or the tax ID. So if you don't have a tax ID, you don't even have to go and get one. You can just put your social security, because like Jason was saying, they're going to tie that into your account, your personal account anyway. They want to know what your credit looks like, and you're ultimately responsible if you don't make the payments. Yeah. So there is another way. You don't have to have an LLC.
No,
and you don't have to have the tax ID as well.
No, not at all. You can definitely be a sole proprietor, and you don't have to actually have a legitimate business. Basically, the EIN kind of makes your business legitimate in terms of like the eyes of the bank. But you could go. I'm not going to use that joke. Never mind.
So basically, but you want to be careful, okay? So when it comes down to it, I would
blanked out. I think.
What's that?
Can anyone see me? I can't see anything.
We can see you. We can see you. Okay, you came back. You had a power outage. Yeah. So when it comes down to it, do it the right way. Now, if you're selling on eBay or you're selling on Amazon, you're doing something outside of your regular job. So that is a business. You can be a sole proprietor. That could be a business. But don't try to fudge the numbers or anything like that. You can still get credit cards, business credit cards, even if you're not making a lot of money, or you might not be making much at all on this, whatever you're doing. They're looking at you're putting your social security number in there, so they're looking at your personal credit, or they're looking at your personal income as well, and they do ask you what your personal income is. So you don't have to don't try to falsify stuff. You don't want to do that, because then you'll get into a whole different realm of problems.
But one good thing that people have been able to do is I've given people advice, just friends of mine. I've given them advice, and combined, if you combine you and your spouse as income, that's not lying, because that's happened where the bank has called them and they're like, hey, can you verify where you're getting this amount of money from? And they're like, well, I combined myself and my spouse, that's our household income. And they're like, oh, okay. And they still allowed it to actually move forward with the application. And they were approved.
Like stuff like that, that's different, but don't go out of your way to try to cheat the system, because you don't want to be one of those people that get the credit card, you get the sign-up bonus, and you have 50,000 points sitting in there, and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to go on this trip. It's going to be great. And then they open up some type of investigation. They freeze your points, and then ultimately take the points away from you. You don't want to be that in that situation.
Also, don't be points rich and cash poor.
There you go. Yeah. The best advice that I can give anyone that gets travel credit cards, you have to pay it off every month. Okay. And like Jason was saying, he pays it off as soon as like before the statement hits, he wants to pay it off. But make it a point to pay it off every month. I heard someone talking, I was watching the channel, and this guy was talking about, he likes to get the Amex cards, the charge cards, because it forces him to pay it off every month. Yeah. That's not the right attitude. Although that's good that you're paying it off every month, you should pay off. I don't care what credit card you get. So he's saying that the charge card makes him pay it off every month, but so I'm assuming the other cards, regular credit card, he's not forced to pay it off every month, so he might not pay it off every month. You should be in the practice of paying it off every month. Use it just like you would a debit card, in the sense that this is the way I do it. I use it for all my purchases, but I make sure I'm not buying things on impulse and buying things that I don't have money in the bank for. And then every 2 weeks when I get paid, that's when I'm paying off my credit card. So it never hits that what's it called? So I never have to pay any interest or anything like that on it. If you start paying interest on these credit cards, you're just throwing your money away. You're throwing your points away, not your money. Yeah. Well, you're throwing your money away too, because you're just giving the money when you don't really have to, because you should have that money in the bank already, and you're throwing those points away because all those points that you're earning, you're just paying it back in interest. So you don't want to do that. Okay, Janelle, welcome to the channel. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for subscribing. So she subscribed to my channel. She subscribed to your channel. So that's great.
Yeah, Janelle, I left you a message. I said thank you on the chat. So thank you.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So she also put something else here. I am looking forward meeting new people on here. Yeah. You'll find new people, and if you are interested in travel credit cards, you'll definitely get some information about that as well. Okay, let's see. Sugar Skull saying that he's been going to Vegas for man, I've been going to Vegas so much. I wish I had been on the points game earlier. Yeah, me too. You could saved a lot of money. I didn't know about this until I wasn't in the points. Like, for those of you who don't know, I went to school in Las Vegas and I went to college in Las Vegas. That was way before my whole points game thing. But just knowing the fact that, the MGM Mirage is a huge, they're a huge presence on the Strip. So knowing that now, I've stayed, I've stayed 3 times since then. I've used points for 2 of the trips. One of the trips, it didn't make sense. Kind of like I was saying, doesn't make sense sometimes to use points. So it didn't make sense for me to use points in that situation. But yeah, Hyatt is a little, they are a small chain. So the Hyatt brand, they are a small chain compared to a Hilton and a Marriott and IHG. IHG is huge. For those of you who don't know, and a lot of people have never even heard of IHG, but it's the Holiday Inn Express, the Intercontinental.
I don't particularly like IHG.
What's that?
I don't particularly like IHG.
Yeah.
I've had bad customer service experiences with all of their properties, so I kind of try to shy away from them. But yeah,
and their points. The thing with IHG, their points are not very strong.
No, not at all. Definitely not.
They're in the Chase. They're in that Chase ecosystem. So you can transfer points from your Chase account, from your Ultimate Rewards account, over to IHG. But it's like, it's not worth it. It really isn't, because those points in Chase are valued at like 2 cents per point. That's on average. You transfer them over to IHG, and it's like 0.6 cents per
point. It's trash. So
it's ridiculous. So not a good value there. But if you do get one of their cards, you can get like 100,000 sign-up bonus. Usually they're pushing that all the time. And then use that card, earn points with that card, and then stay at IHG if you want to do it that way. Yeah. Okay. Final rants. Go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. I was just shouting out Champ. He said, "What's going on, David? Glad to catch you on the live stream. Found your channel a couple of weeks ago. Keep it up, bro." So, he was telling me, Jason, glad to catch you on the live stream. Okay, cool. So he's on both of our channels, so that's good.
Cool. Yeah, I'm missing some of the. There's Champ up there. Yeah, I missed him. Okay, so let's see. Any other questions, guys? Anything else? Just put it in the chat, and please hit the like button if you have not done so. And if you haven't subscribed to our channels, please consider doing that, because we're going to be putting out content, or we're already putting out content, but we're continue putting out content. So if you guys are interested in travel and travel credit cards, then you'll definitely get some good info. Let's see, anything else here? And Jason, if you do see something, just let me know and I can pull it up.
So far, I haven't seen anything yet.
Okay, Sugar Skull saying my audio.
Your audio's out of sync. I see that. Yeah.
Why is it out of sync? I don't know.
Yeah. Oh man, I think I got another success story on your feed here. It says, following Jay's steps to improve my credit, I want to say thank you. My score went from 530. It's now at 700. Hey,
wow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So I'm always happy to see that I'm, that kind of, when you help people like that, that always gives you like that motivation to want to just keep going. So I mean, I'm small fries compared to, the rest of the YouTube community at the moment, but that makes it worth it.
Man. We all start at zero. Sugar Skull, let me know if it's getting any better. I don't know why it's out of sync, but I had a bunch of stuff open, so I shut some stuff down. Maybe I had too much stuff running.
Overloading your system.
Yeah. Let's see. Drop down a little bit. Okay, so Champ has a question. What are your favorite redemptions? Oh, I think we answered. What are your favorite redemptions so far? Personally, saving up for Hawaii later this year. Hopefully, Europe next spring. Um, Jason talked a little bit about redemptions earlier on. Do you want to just kind of talk about what your plans are?
Yeah, well, I actually have 2 redemptions coming up here pretty soon. I did one completely on points, and then I did one half, cash, half points. So I only booked my flights through the points, and I probably redeemed so currently my entire points total, if I'm not deducting my points that I've already redeemed, I probably had around 600,000 points. But I've redeemed about 90. I've redeemed about 90,000 already. But I'm going to Mexico. Actually, in 2 weeks, I'll be in Mexico. So I'm hoping to kind of vlog while I'm out there, and try to make it like an experience for everyone, and just give a review on the hotel I'm staying at. If you ever plan on going out there to the spot that I'm going, so I'm going to Playa del Carmen, and basically like just going to go out there, have fun, be out there for 5 days, and I'm going to go look at everything. And so I'm hoping like I can just kind of give people a nice review on it, so that if they're looking at somewhere, most people like to go to Cancun, but Playa del Carmen is pretty chill, and that's me. Like I'm pretty chill. I like to have fun, but not with a bunch of people, like just a bunch of other crazy people going wild. So. So
Yeah, I got you.
so if I'm the only one out there being, turning up and going crazy, and people are looking at me a little awkward, then I'm okay with that. But if it's like everyone else is on my level, then I don't know. Like that's when things can just get a little too dangerous. So
Yeah. All right, guys, let me know if it's any better now. I had to shut down. I had a lot of stuff open that I didn't even realize was open. So hopefully it'll get a little bit better. Let's see. David says he loves the stream. Thanks, David. Appreciate it. And Sugar Skull says it does look better.
David, Amex is not king yet. I'm just letting you know. He commented on a video of mine, and he said, Amex is king.
He's gonna get him started.
I'm saying it right now. Amex is not king just yet. I do like Amex. I mean, I have a ton of Chase cards, but I really do. I want to get deep into American Express, but right now it's just, everyone has to play their own strategy, and so right now it's just not where I'm at. So, I'm big on not, spending out of my budget, and since I do run a business, I have other expenses, so I can't really, even though I want to go out there and start getting these other cards, the annual fees for the cards really just don't fit into my budget at the moment. So I'm just like, they'll always be there. That's the one thing, American Express cards are always going to be there. So I'm not worried. I don't feel like I do if I skip out on a Chase card and I'm like, oh crap, like I'm not going to be able to get it, and for another 2 years. So, so I'm not really sweating it right now.
Yeah, it's one of those deals too. I think most of us start with Chase just because of the 524. So in the sense that we don't like the fact that they have 524, the 524 rule, it's forcing us. They're doing the right thing because they're forcing us to get the cards first.
I'm sitting here looking at the chat, and these guys are cracking me up. Like David, he says, "I take back what I said about his sign. MX is king." Yeah, I got him started.
Yeah, okay. You did. All right. So the HD chilling. What's going on, Hardy? How you doing, buddy? So yeah, he's saying Amex is king. Yeah, he's got Amex Platinum. So he's on that.
No, I mean, I love the card. I mean, but for me right now, it's just not in my. It's not in my sights at the moment. So.
Cool. All right. So Nate and Jess, they're just talking about the those hidden fees with Marriott. He's just saying, watch out for the hidden fees. Yeah, I've heard about that. I saw that article that came out about the Marriott and the hidden fees. It's not
Yeah,
just Marriott, though, it's other hotels. And I
yeah,
am going to have to say, I just stayed at one of the hotel, and I saw some fees on there, and it's like, I mean, and it's small amounts. I was talking. I think I actually was talking on live stream yesterday where it was like some kind of transient fee tax.
yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, it was just some, it had tax at the end of it, but it's this fee. It was like $3. And then there was right under that, then there was another fee that was, I can't even remember that fee was like 44 cents. But it's like these fees that are, what is this coming from? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it should be outlined. And the thing that bothered me is the fact that I used points to stay there, so I didn't have to pay anything for the room, but I did have to pay for parking. And so I asked them when I went in, how much is parking? It's $22 a day. Okay, so $22 a day, but what they don't tell you, plus $3.23 for this transient tax fee, and then another 44 cents. And I know, like I said, I'm nickel and diming, and I know, but still, just tell us.
Hey man, this game's all about maximizing your, the value that you get from everything. So, I mean, it's maximizing your spend and minimizing your costs. So, I think, I'd nickel and dime it myself. I mean, to be honest, if I probably would have went in there and been like, look, are you guys really going to charge me this?
Yeah, well, I mean, and they say, oh, it's a tax. That's what it is, but it's not like a sales tax. So this is some other type of tax that they're putting on.
Marriott's starting to turn into like the spirit of hotels with those fees, those hidden fees.
Yeah.
You go on Spirit Airlines and they're like, hey, click, check your bags now, or pay to check your bag now instead of later. It'll be $10 more. It's funny. You got to read all the fine print with Spirit.
And Spirit is not always the cheapest airline too, which I find amazing. If you go on one site you should go on. Yeah, one site you should go on is Google Flights. Get on Google Flights and just type in a destination, and it will pull up all the different airlines, and you'll be surprised sometimes. And a lot of times that I've seen, Spirit is not the cheapest flight. You'll have some of the legacy carriers like United and American and Delta that are cheaper.
So I want to get to a question right here. Reckless Rican, he said, "Yo, what's up, homie? Can I transfer Hilton points between me and my wife?" You guys can actually pool those points with the Hilton program. It allows you to pool all of your points together. So if you and your wife each have Hilton points, you can combine them. I haven't had any experience with it, but I know that it's available. So, maybe try to ask, a Hilton representative or something about that, or just Google it, how to pool, my Hilton points.
Cool. Thanks for giving that info. Yeah. Reckless Weekend, thank you for stopping by, man. Haven't seen you in a while. Let's see. What did we miss? Will, what's going on, Will, from the WhatsApp group? He's actually in both WhatsApp groups, Columbia WhatsApp group and then the Travel Explorer click.
I bet that
he's multitasking right now. What's that?
I said, I bet that Columbia one's wild.
Oh yeah, you might want to get in that one. You might want to get in it. They might. This is Ace is probably going to be shutting it down.
Man.
Not shutting it down, but all right, yeah.
I'm trying to keep my eyeballs, man. I'm not trying to get them scratched out, so I'm part of that.
I hear you. Okay. Yeah, probably a good thing. All right, let's see. Let's move on. Let's see. Sugar Skull. Man, I love American Express. Or I love Amex customer service. It's so amazing. Yeah. Delta Gold card. I've heard that. I don't have any Amex cards, but I have heard that their customer service is really good, which goes a long way. That it definitely does. What do you think, Jason?
No, I agree. Their customer service is great. They're always willing to help. Even if you're, talking through them through the chat, it's always they get it done. And I know some people may not agree, but obviously right there's one, There's one cosign basically to the customer service for Amex, and I agree with that. Yeah,
Cool.
100%.
Cool. All right, Champ has a question. He's asking you, Jason, do you churn and just want to maximize all spend? What cards are on both of your keeper lists? So do you churn at all? Do you know the churning or
Well, I'm more of the maximizing all spend. I think the difference between maximizing your spend and churning is when people churn, they try to get the sign up bonus and then they cancel the card. And so they'll use that bonus and then they'll cancel the card. And I think that's just probably the worst practice to go about in terms of points and miles, because let's say, for instance, you're with American Express and you try to churn the platinum card or you try to churn the gold card, and most times it happens. Most people, they'll do this. They'll cancel the card within a year, and what'll happen is Amex is going to shut you out. Like they're not going to have it. You're going to lose that relationship that you tried to build with American Express. You're going to miss out on all of those points that they have to offer with all their credit cards, with all their charge cards, and all of their co-branded cards. So I just think that's like the worst practice to do. And basically you're setting yourself up for failure moving forward. You're not going to have any points to be able to earn, in a broad, kind of sense, because I think, with all of the banks offering what they offer, once you lose out on one bank and you get completely shut out, then, you're kind of only stuck with 2 or 3, since, Capital One, the venture card, is starting to make itself a little bit stronger. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily consider them a major player in the game, but they're trying. I'll give them that.
They're moving up.
Yeah.
City's helping them. City's helping them move up.
Definitely. But I think City has, yeah, so City's helping them, but with City making the City double cash like thank you points earning card now, so like you can transfer. I think everyone's just waiting to see what those that 2% cashback earning will transfer into City thank you points. I think that's the major thing right now. But yeah, City is basically shooting themselves in the foot, in my opinion, removing all of their benefits and things like that. But yeah, so all I do is I try to maximize my spend. And if I know I have a major purchase coming up, and I haven't applied for a card in a while, then I'll look at what's out there. I'll look at what I have, and I'll kind of strategize, put out a plan, before I decide to apply for a specific card. And I'll try to get that minimum spend on one purchase if I can. So like with my Chase Inc. Unlimited card and my Hilton Ascend card, they were both $3,000 in spend. And I applied for one the day after the other. So I applied for the Chase Inc. And this is not typical practice of me either. I normally spread out my applications at least 2 months, 2.5 months, 3 months. But for whatever reason, I was like, I was, looking up cards, and I was in incognito mode and, searching up Amex cards, and I got this, offer for 150K points after 3K spend. So I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get that offer again. And I know the Aspire card, which is their highest annual fee Hilton card, has the 150K bonus for 4,000 in spend, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I mean, I think Will Schroep has the Aspire card, so he might be able to chime in on the chat if he's still here. But yeah, so I was like, well, if I can get 150K points, then I'll take that over the public offer of 125 any day. And since, like I said, I'm moving, I have a lot of expenses right now. So I was able to get both of those bonuses with just 2 swipes. So that was nice. So, yeah. So, I mean, that was 6,000 basically within a matter of a week or so that I had to spend. And I was trying to get my cards expedited. And luckily for me, on the day that I needed to actually use my Chase Ink Unlimited, because I didn't want to use my Hilton card, because that one came in like 3 days. The Chase card took about 5 days to come in, but fortunately it came in the mail that day, and I was able to make that purchase on that day, so that I needed to make it. So it was nice.
Let's see. Give me 1 second.
Oh, sure. So I guess I'm going to answer a question while you're
Yeah.
your stuff. So this is just referring to Champ again. I guess I went on a tangent with that churning thing, but the cards that I'm on, like my keeper list, I think the American Express Gold card is a keeper card. Just because even if you fly once a year, you could still maximize that airline fee credit. Seeing how the gift card kind of trick has gone, is shut down. And, if you're a frequent flyer, then the Platinum card is a keeper card. I think the Hilton, I personally like the Hilton Ascend. I really do want the Aspire card, but I'm kind of pumping the brakes right now on all of my applications. So I think any of the Hilton cards are pretty valuable. Well, at least from the Ascend to the Aspire, because you get the gold status with Hilton or the diamond status with Hilton, and you get priority pass. You get all kinds of pretty awesome perks with the card. And, then they, like I said, I was telling, Reckless Rican that you can pool your points with as many family members as you want. You can pull all of your points together and, hit a redemption that way. So that's pretty cool. And then if you get the Hilton Aspire, it comes with the free award night. It's given. So, that one has very few restrictions on what you can redeem that free award night for. So you could really stay at some luxurious hotels with that one, free weekend night. And so I think that's pretty valuable. And then, obviously on the Chase side, I think that, you can't go wrong with their no annual fee cards. They're all keepers in my opinion. I don't have the Freedom Unlimited. There's no need for me to have it because I have the Ink Unlimited. And, I think the Sapphire Reserve is now way more desirable to me, and I would consider that a keeper card as well. And the Ink Preferred, most people don't think so, but the Ink Preferred comes with really good insurances on it, like cell phone insurance. You get up to, I think it's $1,600 a year. So if your phone breaks, you're covered up to $1,600. I think it might be dispersed in 2 different segments, like maybe 800 and 800. Per instance, but that's still pretty valuable.
Yeah, definitely. And so as far as my keeper list, right now I have all Chase. So I have like Jason was saying, the 0 annual fee cards. There's no reason not to keep those. I have the Chase Ink Cash card, which I think the Chase Ink Cash card is another really great card. It's a business card, but it's a great card to get. 50,000 sign up bonus. And you'll need to have the Chase Ink Business Preferred or the Chase Sapphire Preferred or the Chase Sapphire Reserve to transfer those points up to allow you to transfer them to the different transfer partners. Because if not, it's just a cashback card. But those are definitely keeper cards. The Chase Sapphire Reserve is a keeper card for me. I do like what you were saying with the Hilton Aspire card. I think that's an amazing card. That's probably the best hotel branded card out there right now.
Definitely,
because of the perks. You're getting diamond status, and that's
for having the card. And people I think people just don't understand what it takes to actually achieve it without the credit card. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it takes you have to stay so many nights just to achieve diamond status, and then that's within the year, and then you start all over again. So if you just have the card, you're always that's a consistent diamond status right there. You're looking at being upgraded to suites, all the time, and you're getting treated like royalty when you walk into a Hilton. So I think that's valuable right there for sure.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell a story because we're here. We're all family here.
Yeah.
when I first got started with the travel credit cards, I got a few credit cards, and I started staying at Hyatt, and I wanted that status. I wanted to be at the top. And back then, it was before they had the new world of Hyatt, so they had the old program, and you needed to have 25 stays. So what they considered a stay is anytime you would check in and check out, that was one stay. But they didn't count it as days. So if I had, let's say I went and stayed in Hawaii in a Hyatt, and I stayed from one date to the next day is like 7 days, I'm not going to get credit for all those 7 days. I'm only going to get one stay. So back then, what I would do, and I had some, I was traveling, so I did have some stays under my belt, but I needed to get like 7 or 8 more stays. And so what I was doing is I would go to, and this is local, like I'd go to a hotel, and back then they had points plus cash, so it was really valuable. It wasn't that expensive. I could use points like 5,000. I think it was 5,000 points at the time, and then they still have points plus cash, but they've changed the system now.
I was about to say it's not that valuable anymore.
Yeah, now it's 50% of whatever the price of the hotel is for that night, the rate for the hotel at night. Back then, it was 5,000 points, or it was even less than that. I think might have even been less than 5,000, maybe 4,000 points, and then you paid like $55, and that was for like a Hyatt place, and that was the set rate the whole time. So I'd go to these different Hyatt places, and I would just stay one night. So on a weekend, I have 3 days off, right? So on a weekend, I would stay at different hotels, and just so I could hit that 8 that I needed, the 8 stays that I needed to get to that next level. And as soon as I got to that diamond status, back then it was diamond status, then they changed over to the world of Hyatt. So they grandfathered me into the globalist status. So I had that for a year, and now it's what is it, 60 nights, I think. They took away the stays, but now there's you have to stay 60 nights, and that's pretty tough. It is pretty tough. And just think of how many nights you have to spend on the road, and how much you would have to pay out of pocket, or points you would have to use just to get that status. So if you have a Hilton Aspire card, you get that status with that card. So that's why it's so powerful. Not only do you get that status with that card, but you can also do status match, and a status match where you can go back over to Hyatt and say, hey, look, I have diamond status at the Hilton. Why not give me diamond status or globalist status over here? And what they'll generally do is they'll give you globalist status for like 3 months, so you can try it out, and then they'll tell you have to stay like 10 nights in the next 3 months.
Nights, right.
And then they'll give you that globalist status for the rest of the year. So yeah, that Hyatt, the Hilton Aspire card is definitely a great card to get. There is, you got to pay to play. It's $450 annual fee, so it's not cheap, but
I mean,
definitely a good card.
With the credits, you get you also get the airline credit with the Aspire card, and you also get a
hotel credit.
Yeah, but I think it's a resort credit, so you actually have to stay at a resort to redeem that credit. Yeah, so I think that's the only difference. But I mean, for me, I that's a valuable card in my opinion. I mean, I think that's an amazing card. So I see Nate and Jess asked a question right here. If I had a choice between the Hilton card and the Hyatt card, which one would you choose? I know a lot of people like the Hilton. I just never really had a chance to stay in them. I know a lot of people like Hilton too, along with Hyatt and popularity for travel rewards. So me personally, I think the Hilton card is more valuable than the Hyatt card. And you would think it would have been the other way around, seeing how I'm more of a Chase user. But the Hilton card, like the Send card just in itself, as a gold member, you get priority pass, you get what is it? It's called Hilton Honors Dining Program, where you can maximize the amount of points just locally by signing up for the program. You can enter in whatever credit card number that you want, and then once you actually use that credit card at that particular location, basically you get Hilton Honors points, and you get points with whatever credit card you were going to use. So I think that's a pretty valuable thing. And then as a gold member, you also get 80% points earnings on top of whatever you're earning originally with your card. So say I'm getting 10 base points for Hilton, I'm going to get another 8 points on top of that. So it's almost like you're getting 180% of what you're earning or what you're spending. So I think that's a pretty cool thing to have. Yeah,
and you get the free breakfast too, which is
I mean, you get Hilton
I like
Gold
to eat.
status. Yeah. So you get Hilton Gold status, and that's just below. I think what Hilton Gold status, I think it's maybe about 20 nights less than Diamond status, and you have the potential. Like you could go buy, try to book a cheap room, and it probably won't happen all the time, but the likelihood of you getting upgraded to a better room or even to a suite just with gold status, that's a really sweet redemption right there in itself. And like David said, you get the breakfast, you get the free breakfast. So that's, if you're taking 3 or 4 people with you, that's $25 every time you're spending breakfast. So you can get around $75 to $100 every time you stay at a Hilton just for having gold status with them. So I would go with that one. But I honestly, me personally, I'm a fan of the hotel branded cards anyways, because I think, most cards come with that free award night. And if you're trying to redeem and have a longer stay like somewhere, then I think that award night is pretty valuable, and it outweighs the, most hotel cards are around $95 for the annual fee. Hilton does have a no annual fee card, but I don't think it really has any perks. I haven't really done my research on that card, but I think it's valuable. It's a really good thing to have. Yeah.
All right, we have a super chat in the building. Thank you very much for the super chat. So how to get 800 credit score. I did post a link. Let me open this up. So I posted a link to his channel here. So go over to his channel. Well, hopefully that worked out. It looks weird because it's got my face on it, but that's his channel. So if you click on that link, it'll take you over to his channel. If it doesn't, let me know. I'm plugging myself. No, but check his channel out, and we'll definitely. I definitely want to talk to him offline too. Maybe we can get him on the show as well. But yeah, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Let's see. Miss any other questions here? Nika, what's going on? We've got Nika in the building. All right, let's see here. Any other questions? Good afternoon, everyone. So you answered that question. Yeah, and I when it comes to what Jason was saying as far as the Hilton card, you also have to look to what's your ecosystem, right? So if you do have that Chase ecosystem, it does make sense to get a Hyatt card, only because you can transfer your points into Hyatt. So you can top off your Hyatt points. Let's say you have some points already in Hyatt. You have the Hyatt card, so you have some points there already. You can top it off using Chase. So that does make sense. Chase doesn't have a relationship with Hilton, so you can't transfer points over there.
Yeah.
That's the only real reason why it would make sense at this point to stay with Hyatt, and that's why I like Hyatt. As far as my experience staying at Hilton properties, I have not had the best experiences, and so that's just my thing. So I'm not anxious to just jump on board. But in the future, we'll see. I did have my last experience at a Hilton was good. So maybe from there, maybe I was just staying at the wrong Hiltons.
Yeah, that could have been it. Because I've been fortunate enough to have really good experiences. Well, exceptional experiences with basically every airline I've flown and with every hotel I've stayed at. So, I hear all the horror stories, and I feel fortunate that I haven't had to experience that yet.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have like just a horrible experience, but I compare things to Hyatt because that's where I stay the most. So just staying when I was in Hawaii 3 years ago, I stayed at a Hilton. It was the Garden Inn, so I guess that's not like the top of the line Hiltons, but it was just an old building that needed to be modeled or something. It wasn't impressive at all. And you're talking $500 something a night. Nice location though, right on the water and everything. And I just thought that like the buffet, the breakfast, like I didn't have the free breakfast, and it was like $27 a person. So I just thought that was a little outrageous. But I am in Hawaii. I get it. But it just, I don't know. I didn't like it too much. So I had that experience, and I stayed at a few more Hilton properties prior to that. I actually did a status match back when I was a globalist at Hyatt. I did a status match with Hilton, stayed at a couple properties, and I'm like, you know what? I don't even want to go through with getting the diamond status at that point, because I needed to stay, I think, 8 or 9 nights.
Yeah.
So I didn't even want to go through. But I mean, you're saying to stay 8 or 9 nights. I didn't have any points, so bare minimum, I'm paying $100 a night. So that's $800, $900 to get that status for the year.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just like, oh, okay, well, yeah, why didn't you just stay those 8 nights? You could have got diamond status. Well, yeah, I had to pay for it. So, okay. So Nate just says, I know a lot of people like Hilton too, along with Hyatt popularity for travel rewards. Yeah, and just comparing the two, you're going to have better success finding a Hilton property than you are finding Hyatt.
Yeah.
That is one of the strengths of Hilton.
That's why I want to have like relationships with all of them, just in case, because I don't want to be limited in what I can redeem. Especially because Hyatt doesn't really have that large of a footprint in terms of like, hotel properties that are worldwide. So that's why I have the Bonvoy card for Marriott, and then I have the Hilton card also. So yeah, so like I said, I'm trying to get the World of Hyatt card. I really like the fact that because right now I think I earn 1.5. Yeah, so I have the Ink Unlimited, but I'm earning 1.5. Cent or points per dollar on my gym membership, right? And I like the fact that the World of Hyatt actually earns points. It's a bonus category for your gym membership on the World of Hyatt card. So I would take
it's 2 points.
Yeah,
2 points for every dollar.
Yeah. So
of course David had to chime in. He says the World of Hyatt sucks because the lowest status and the highest status earn the same amount of points. Yeah. So their whole program, this World of Hyatt program, they just launched it 2 years ago. They're still working things out with that program, and I think they lost a lot of people from Hyatt when they switched over, mainly because of the stays. The stays went from 25 stays or 40 nights, I think, something like that, to 60 nights. And so they lost a lot of people because that's extra 20 nights, right? So they got rid of the stays, but now you had to stay. They got rid of the stays. That setup that they had, and then they went to just nights. And 60 nights is a lot for most people. So they did lose a lot of people from that. But another thing that I swear by now is Airbnbs. Like back in the day, I was really uncomfortable about doing Airbnb. I've stayed at a few Airbnbs, and I really like the whole layout. As long as you go through one of the super hosts, you'll be fine as far as
definitely
trustworthy people. But just the fact that I can pack a lot lighter, I can have it just to carry on a personal item, and then wash my clothes when I'm there. It's a real good setup. And there's certain situations where you might not even plan. Like when I went to Carnival. Actually, when I went to Carnival, I stayed at a hotel in Carnival. But luckily, I had enough clothes. I was only there 4 days. But every day, I was going through two sets of clothes.
Oh,
you go out to the parade.
No, I'm kidding.
Huh?
I say Carnival, I would have just went in some boxers or naked or something. Let it all hang.
I don't want to get arrested out there in Colombia. Yeah, but so basically, when you go to these like Carnival, they spray stuff on you, they throw powder on you, so your clothes get all messed up. So luckily, I was only there for 4 days, and then I went to Medellin. I was there for another 4 days or 5 days, and then I was able to wash my clothes because my clothes I didn't have any clothes left after those 4 days. So I was running through them. 2 pairs of clothes. I wear clothes for the parade, and they're throwing stuff on you and all that. And then you go out for the night, and the same thing. They go to the street parties, and they're doing the same thing. So yeah. So Airbnbs are good. They're a good option. The only thing is you're not really earning points with them. I think there is a card though where you can earn some points with Airbnbs, but
I haven't heard of that. But I'm sure someone has a video on it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's one out there.
Yeah.
Okay. We got any other questions here?
Yeah, actually, we have some down here at the very bottom.
Yeah. If you already got a stay booked at a Hilton, and then go to a Hilton card after booking before you stay, can you still get all the benefits? I would call them. Have you had that happen to you?
So actually, that happened with my most recent booking with my Hilton stay that I'm going to be staying at. So the way I earned my Hilton points at first was I just signed up. All the apps are free, so I always just sign up with them because they're free. And if you book through the app, you're going to earn rewards points towards that program. Even if you don't have their credit cards or whatever it is. So I always, tell people, hey, if you want to try to earn points without having a points earning card, sign up for these programs. They're 100% free. And then when you finally just decide to go stay at one, just book through the app and earn the points that way. But I did a combination. I did through the Hilton site, through my membership sign in. And then I also used Ebates, and a lot of people don't know about Ebates, but when you put the extension on your browser, basically any website that you go to, Ebates will kind of drop down and let you know, hey, you can get so much cash back for booking, here through Ebates. And now it's become Rakuten. I don't know, but they changed their name just recently. But I was able to get Amex points, Hilton points, and then Ebates cashback all in one redemption. And that was before I signed up for the Hilton card. And I remember getting on the Reddit community, and I came across one guy who said he was a GM of a Hilton. And I said, hey, I have a stay coming up here pretty soon. I just got the card, but it was before my booking. He told me yes. So I'm going to kind of trust that person was who they said they were. But it wouldn't happen until you completed your stay. You wouldn't see your points or your bonus earnings for having whatever status until after you completed your stay. And it may be around 8 to 12 weeks before you actually see that bonus hit your account. So I'm going to say yes. And I hope that's right, because I'm hoping that's right for me too, because I have the card, and I spent a pretty good amount of money for 6 nights where I'm staying, and so so I hope I'm able to get that that extra bonus as well, after getting after booking and then getting the card. So
yeah, hopefully that works out. Hopefully it works out for you. Champ has another question here. Jason, thoughts on airline cards? I think you like JetBlue, but have you flown any other airlines, or you?
Well, actually, so I live in a United and Southwest hub. So United goes out of one airline or one airport, and then Southwest goes out of the other airport. And so I don't really. Me personally, I know you like, your Southwest Explorer card. I have a friend who loves his as well, just because the check bags. And then I think, doesn't it come with
United, not Southwest?
Oh yeah. Sorry.
I hate Southwest. No, I don't hate Southwest. I just don't fly Southwest.
Right. I forget. So doesn't it come with TSA pre-check as well?
Does mine?
Yeah, I think
I already have TSA pre-check, so
right. Well, you have your CSR, you have your Chase Sapphire Reserve. So I think the Explorer card comes with TSA pre-check, and if you're getting that card, I mean, yeah, it's cool, but for me, I have no loyalty to airline cards whatsoever, because Now maybe if they were going to offer an annual free flight, like goddamn, losing my train of thought. Like the hotel cards do, where they give you that free night every year just for paying the annual fee. Then cool. If I can get one free flight and one free night, then I mean, hey, I'm gonna go take advantage of that. So, well, it would have to be round trip. I'm just saying, because that would just have to be it. But I don't have a loyalty to anyone. I've had really, really good experiences with JetBlue. I love JetBlue. I've had really awesome experiences on Delta, and I love Delta. So I'm actually once I finish my Chase run with all these other cards, I will most likely consider getting the Delta cards. And then try to strategize from there. And just go from there. I always try to take things and just go with the flow. So
flickery screen. All right. Yeah, so you do get TSA pre-check. I just wanted to pull it up. Yeah, you do get that TSA pre-check.
Okay.
There.
Okay.
Or I should say global entry. Go with global entry, not TSA pre-check.
Yeah. No, for sure. Okay. I didn't know if it was global entry or if it was just TSA pre-check only. But yeah, definitely global entry, because global entry will get you into the country and through security a lot faster. TSA pre-check will only get you through security faster. That's it. So you might as well
go with global entry.
Yeah, you can get that 2 for 1 value for sure. And I mean, that's not bad for a $95 annual fee card.
Yeah, not bad at all. I just look at the bag. So if I am in a situation where I need to check a bag, I have the free check bags, and then the priority boarding for me is one of the things I enjoy the most, believe it or not, is priority boarding. Just getting on the plane first, or close to first, because I always bring my camera equipment with me. So I have a lot of camera equipment, and it's very expensive equipment. And so I am always fearful of having to check a bag at the gate. So that I like to be able to get on the plane first. So that won't happen. So they don't run out of overhead bins and now, you got to check your bag. Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
I can't do that. And then you're going to see me just take all of my camera equipment out of the bag. I'm going to be sitting in the airplane with all that stuff in my lap.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
I see a question from Nate. Yeah, Nate and Jess. Does Hilton have any all-inclusive resorts? Yes. Actually, the resort that I'm staying at is an all-inclusive adults-only resort. So that's like I said, it's going to be in Mexico. Most people they like I said, when they go to Mexico, they want to go to Cancun, they want to go stay at the Ritz-Carlton or the Hyatt Ziva or whatever like that. But like I said, I like being super chill. I don't like to follow the pack, so I always go do my own thing. So that's why I went to Playa, or that's why I'm going to Playa, and that's where I booked my stay at the Hilton all-inclusive resort in Playa del Carmen. So yeah, they do have. Cool. You just have to search for them.
Cool. All right, guys. Any other questions? I see let's see, Casey. What's going on, Casey? I see you're talking with you guys are having your conversation about the whole Hyatt program. Yeah. David doesn't like it. Casey does. Yeah, it's to each his own. I mean, they do change benefits and all that good stuff, but for the most part, I still like Hyatt. I still think they're a great program. They're obviously, you're going to have different hotel brands. They're going to have their strengths and weaknesses. But overall, I think have a great experience. All right. So any other questions, guys, while we're here? Please go by Flashpoint Capital and subscribe to his channel. He's got some really good content there. And we'll definitely be doing another live stream. Hopefully, if he's not too nervous.
You helped me get all my nerves out. Talking with you to try to get this live stream set up, because that's something I expressed to you that's something I wanted to do for my channel myself, and to get this kind of the first one out of the way, I think it's going to make them a lot smoother moving forward for me.
Oh yeah, it will.
Yeah. So the only thing is that let me see. I might be out of commission here for at least 3 weeks. So I'm trying to put together some videos so that way I can have some stuff, to put out onto my channel. Because moving, I mean, it looks nice and, clean and neat. But if you guys saw what's around me,
that's the way it always is. That's the way it always is. Mine's the same, man.
Yeah.
And I'm not moving, so I don't have an excuse.
But my space is a tornado right now, so I'm literally like waiting until like the last night to break all of my stuff down, and pack it up into boxes. Everything else is pretty much packed up, but this is the only stuff that's kind of just staying put for the moment, just because I want to continue to make content and put it out there. And and then I wanted to do the live stream with you, and I'm completely on board for the live streams, man. So if you ever want to have me back on, I hope I didn't.
You're gonna be back on, Jason. What are you talking about? Hey, definitely. And then hopefully when you get your stuff going, then we can, I can come on your channel and all that good stuff.
Definitely. So, yeah, man. But I had a question for you, actually. I know that you're not really looking for any new cards at the moment, or how many credit cards do you have in total? I don't think I've ever heard. I don't think I've ever heard you speak about that. So, how many do you have in total?
I believe I have 8, but I don't use all of them. So I'll go over the cards right now. So I have the Advantage card, the $95 annual fee one, the American Airlines card. I don't use that card. That's in a sock drawer. I have the Chase Sapphire Preferred. I got the Chase Sapphire Preferred back before they had the Chase Sapphire Reserve, so I was able to get both of them. I still have it. I paid the $95 annual fee, so I could just downgrade it at any time. Because I'm losing out on points. I can downgrade to the Freedom card and then use the categories.
Exactly.
I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, definitely.
So then, so I have the Chase Sapphire Reserve, so that's 3. I have the United Explorer business card, and then the 3 ink cards. So that's 7. And then I made the mistake. This is the first card I ever got. So I had that City Premier card, and instead of downgrading the card to the double cash card,
you canceled it.
I canceled it. That was the first card I ever got. But you get, and that's one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to cancel cards if you don't have to. What were you gonna say?
Well, I was actually a little confused because you said you could have. Can you downgrade it to a City double cash? I'm not like completely familiar with City's program.
Yeah, I think you can.
I know their application rules, but I don't know like what their downgrade options are or anything like that.
I would think that would be the only downgrade path. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would think that's the only downgrade path.
Okay. I'm not familiar that much with City, but I mean,
and I wasn't either. Like, I got the card that was the first card I got, so I was one of those deals. If anybody knows in the chat, let us know if you can downgrade that card to anything.
I want to say maybe card, like the City Rewards Plus. I have no clue. I mean, don't quote me on that. I may be creating my own name, but I mean, like I said, I don't know squat about City, so.
So that was the mistake that I made. And that's one thing that I learned. You should never downgrade, you should never cancel a card. You should always try to downgrade it if possible.
Okay, so
you can downgrade any City cards.
Cool.
Okay.
That's nice. Yeah.
You can transfer a City card to another. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I should have done, and I still would have had that if I were able to do the double cash card. I still would have had that card today. But I didn't know any better, and I jumped out, and I was just thinking, all I was thinking about, because they waived that $95 annual fee, so all I was thinking about, I don't want to have to pay the annual fee.
Yeah.
And so that's why I made the move that I did.
Well, what's funny is a lot of people see the annual fees and they shy away from travel rewards cards anyways, but they're not looking in long term, like the actual value that they can get out of it. And the reason why I say this is because, my dad has immaculate credit. Like, he has like 840, I believe. The last time he showed me, like, we almost went into like a like a what's your credit score kind of measuring contest. And I should have known better, I mean, because, but my dad has like 840 credit, and I whipped mine out, and it was like, I think at that time it was like 760. And I was like, and he's sitting there laughing at me and whatever. He's like, oh, you're not quite there yet. But,
oh, son, young son.
Exactly. He's like, you still got some ways to go, So, but I learned a lot of my good habits from him. A lot of my really good like financial habits, I learned them from him. And he was always the one. Well, actually, anytime I tell him that I have a card that has an annual fee, he's like, I don't know about that. He might have one, I think, but he doesn't really like them. It's crazy.
And a lot of people are that way. The funny thing is, and this is how I justify, because I was at that point. You get your first couple of cards. The first card I got, $95 annual fee was waived the first year, so I didn't have to pay anything. That was a City Premier. Then I get the Advantage card. It was waived the first year. I didn't have to pay anything, so I'm like, okay, good. Then I got the Chase Sapphire Preferred. I didn't have to pay anything. It was waived the first year. So all these $95 annual fee cards. And I remember thinking to myself, I need to slow down. That was one thing I was thinking, because all these annual fees are going to hit. And then I was thinking, I would never and ever, because I would see these $450 annual fee cards. Yeah. So I was thinking to myself, I would never get a card that has a $450 annual fee. These people must be crazy. But then that Chase Sapphire Reserve opened up, and it was 100,000 sign-up bonus.
Yeah, man. I wish.
And I was just like,
I wish I was.
Oh man, I had to get this card. Yeah, so I jumped on that card, but then I started thinking, okay, this is how I justify it. Every year, how much money do I spend in travel? That's what I had to really start thinking about it.
Yeah.
And you're getting that $300 travel credit, so you're going to get that $300 back. So that's now $150. Can I make that? Can I work that out to where it's valuable? Can I use the lounge? Can I use some of the different perks, the rental car insurance and all that stuff? Can I use that stuff and make out? And the answer is yes. And so a lot of people look at these annual fees and they think, oh, this is crazy. There's no way I'm going to pay $450 up front. But how much money are you going to spend in travel a year? If you're going to spend more than $450 in travel in 1 year, then it makes sense to get the card.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, I think with the points that you earn from your everyday spend, that's like depositing money into your travel bank. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so
absolutely,
it's like, hey, I'm going to use my travel rewards card and, deposit money into my travel bank, so that way I can redeem this and go on a nice vacation with my family, my significant other, alone. A lot of people like to travel alone, but, I mean, I think that's so valuable. And, for something as low as $95, for a specific card to where you can start earning points, I mean, I think that's super valuable.
Yeah. And then another thing too, like you get to live a different lifestyle. Like, I don't know. When it comes down to it, man, there's a lot of things I wouldn't even touch. Like, thinking about, like, there's no way I'm gonna, even ask for an upgrade. Like, you become knowledgeable about how things work, and the fact that if you have points and you have a certain status, you can ask for, an upgrade, and then they will see what they can do to give you an upgrade. Like, I never knew how that all worked before.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just amazing. And then flying business class or first class, I never even considered flying business class, first class before, because I knew it was expensive. And anytime I would pull it up, like, sometimes I would get online to see how much my airfare would be for economy, and then I'd say, I wonder how much business class people are paying. And then I get in there and I'm like, wow, there's no way I'm paying three times as much. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And so, and then first class, that's a whole new, like that. I've done that once. Yeah. The first class experience, like a true flying overseas, flying to Paris, or, that, man, I'm telling you, those seats go for like $6,500 one way.
Exactly.
And that experience is something that I'll never forget. Like, I'm saving up points to do some more of those. I can't do the round trip, because that's like, I mean, you're talking 75,000 one way, 75,000 back, and that's on the low level. Yeah, that's so it can get pretty pricey. All right, we got a question here from Casey saying, "What predictions do you?" And both this is for both of us. What predictions do you have concerning the future of travel cards?
I'll let you go first.
All right. When it comes to travel cards, I think the one thing that I'm seeing, and I think is going to start happening more, is the whole tiered bonus, which I don't like. Hyatt they start doing it with the World of Hyatt card.
Where you get
some of the other cards are doing that.
Yeah, they're getting,
where
they're getting tricky.
Yeah, they're getting tricky because of churners. That's part of it, I think. But what they're doing is they're saying, okay, if you spend $3,000 within the first 3 months, you'll get 25,000 points, and then if you spend another $3,000 in the next 3 months, so a total of 6 months, you're gonna have to spend $6,000 in order to get the next 25,000.
Yeah, it's like 50.
So, total of 50. Yeah. So they're starting to do that.
I mean that's kind of like my Hilton Ascend card, where you have to spend 15,000 in a given year just to get that free night.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So like that's where a lot of my expenses now. So I'm moving from my house right now, and I'm actually going to be moving into an apartment. So the great thing about moving to an apartment, and I kind of calculated all of this in my mind. I was like, how can I get this free night without having to do any unnecessary spending and earn really good points and anything like that? And apartment complexes, most of the time you have your own login online and you can pay your rent online. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I'll take it, so I'm just going to pay my rent with that card, and that's going to get me my 15K easy.
Yeah. And so, and they're doing this because of the churners. We have people that are out there that will get a credit card, and Jason was talking about a little earlier, and I don't do churning as well, but
I wouldn't recommend
it. They'll do the churning thing where you get a card and then you hit that minimum spend, so you get the sign up bonus, and then you just put the card in the sock drawer and wait. Usually they don't want to cancel it right away because that really raises a red flag, and then they wait until closer to the annual fee time, and then they cancel at that point, and then they just keep doing that with a bunch of different cards. So the credit card companies are getting upset because people are getting the cards, but they're not using the cards. Yeah, and so that's why they're trying to string us along. Like, okay, you spend 3,000, you get 25,000. You spend another 3,000. So they're trying to string us along. So we'll keep using the cards, because just so you know how credit cards work, if you don't pay, obviously if you don't pay the full amount, then you're going to pay interest. But they also get merchant fees. So anytime I use that card, wherever that retailer, wherever I go to use that card, they're getting, the credit card companies are getting a piece of that transaction. Mm-hmm. So they want you to use those cards. If you're not using the cards, you're not getting these fees. And so that's one of the things they're trying to entice people to use the cards more. I just think, I'm hoping, I'm hoping that not all these cards are going to start jumping on the bandwagon and doing that. But I think that might be the future of cards.
I agree. So what I think is going to happen, predictions, I think the rewards programs will still, they're all competing for our business anyways, as it is, right? So I think over the course of time, certain banks are going to switch up their strategies on how they want to market to that, basically to us, their consumers. And I think, they are going to make it a little difficult to get the bonuses. They're going to make it a little bit more difficult to just get maybe even like the statuses in the future. So I think like if you're getting into things now, I think it's probably the right time before it's too late. And, like you said, they're getting paid. They want to make sure that we're using the card. And obviously I don't condone churning, just like you. And they're enforcing it a lot. Like I've seen, I've heard of people getting their bonus clawed back after earning it. And, they've been given the reason, like, you've earned too many sign-up bonuses with our program. But the only people that I've ever heard of that actually happening to is people who have canceled their cards early after they've received the bonus and decided to apply for another card with that same bank. So I wouldn't advise churning. If you're going to get a card, make sure it has a downgrade option if you don't want to pay an annual fee. If not, then you're kind of stuck paying the annual fee if you don't want to cancel the card. So
yeah, definitely. And you don't want to, don't try to cheat the system. I mean,
no,
understand this. Those points aren't yours. I mean, they're yours in the sense that you've earned them, what have you, but they're still controlled by the banks.
Yeah.
So if they can pull back at any time and say, hey, you know what, you're not going to get these points, or we're going to freeze your points, or something. So you want to do things by the book, and don't try to cheat the system or try to take advantage of things, because in the long run, you're probably not going to come out on top. You're probably going to lose out.
Right.
So yeah, that's my advice when it comes to that. All right, Daniel has a question. I think we've answered this before, but I'll answer it real quick. This is for both of us. What card are we getting next? My card, the next card I'm probably going to get is the JetBlue card. That's the one I'm looking at. I think Jason might be looking at this a similar card.
Yeah, I'm looking at the JetBlue Business, and then the World of Hyatt, and then I'll probably go into like the Delta cards after that, just to try to get some Delta Sky miles, maybe have access to the Sky Clubs or something like that. So, yeah.
Okay. And David's got one last comment here. And let's see, I read online 45% of people pay their credit card bills in full every month. And I don't have any credit card debt. Yep. Yeah, I think with the internet and with social media and YouTube channels like ours, and people they're up on the game now. They know, okay, it's safe for me to get a credit card and I can pay it off every month, and it just works out better. Especially if you get travel credit cards, you don't, there shouldn't even be a thought in your head. Like I said, that person that I saw, I think it was yesterday, I was watching that video, and he was like, yeah, I like getting the charge cards because it forces me to pay it off every month. Right. You need to be forced to pay off any credit card that you get every month.
If you're paying interest, you are basically kind of right now, like, the thought just kind of left my mind. But if you're paying interest, you're basically just like negating any of the points that you've just earned, on a monthly basis. And that's just ridiculous. No one should ever have to pay interest, because that's not the point here. You want to take advantage of the programs the right way and not have them take advantage of you by having to pay interest. So.
Yeah, and that's what they're banking on. They're banking on like we said, there's two ways that they make money for the most part. They're making money through the merchants, and then they're also making money on you when you don't pay your card off. So you want to be able to pull those benefits in. That's the whole reason for getting travel credit cards. You want to be able to pull those benefits in and utilize those benefits, and then pay it off every month so you don't have to pay any interest. And you're pretty much using your money, you're leveraging your money to earn more points so you can travel.
Yep.
So, yeah, that should be your kind of way that you look at things.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you think about it. I know when I was growing up, I was just fresh out of college, I just graduated, and I was looking to get a credit card. And my dad was like, oh, you don't need a credit card right now, And I think he might have made those mistakes early on in his basically consumer journey that he was going down himself. But where he was at, I trust his advice. So for the longest time, like, I had one credit card, and I made sure I paid it on time, but it was not a rewards card. And when I finally decided to get into this, like the points and miles, just hobby, I was just like, oh my God, like, well, I'm glad I got into it a little late, because my habits were a lot better. They're way better now compared to when I was, maybe 25, 26. And I know that you guys probably think I'm 25, 26. I'm not. I'm pretty old. So, so yeah.
All right. So go ahead, brother.
No. You go ahead, man. That's it.
All right, we got one last little question here, or comment. Let's see. Daniel says, I just got denied for the JetBlue Business. I think I have too many inquiries. My credit score is 780, 765, 756. I have like 8 cards. Yeah, they'll look at that. They'll definitely look at that. So you had 8 cards in the last 12 months. So you got to have some strategy when it comes to getting your credit cards.
I can't remember, but who is JetBlue connected with? Like, who is their credit card?
Barclays. I believe it's Barclays. Okay. Yeah.
So Barclays actually has that 6-6 rule, I believe, don't they? Where it's like if you have 6 inquiries in the last 6 months, you're more than likely to get denied for any of their credit cards. I would do a little bit more research because that's probably why. And it seems, you said 8 credit cards in the last 12 months. So that means you've taken 8 inquiries. So more than likely that's it. That's why I've seen a lot of the other points and miles enthusiasts and creators, out in the space, basically go over things like this. And I think a lot of people like to transition to Barclays immediately after Chase because of that rule. So
yeah, cool. Yeah, that's good information. I didn't even know that about Barclays, but yeah, that might be it. So you might want to check that out, Daniel, and then wait until those cards fall off. It's easy to just get your credit report, and then you can look and see exactly how many inquiries you had and when they started, and so you can kind of time that. But this whole thing, man, this whole game, there are different loopholes that you need to jump through. So you're gonna have to figure out. There's a strategy when it comes to it. You don't just get out and get cards. Just like with me, I jumped out and get that City Premier card and didn't know what I was doing, and that's not the card that I should have gotten first. So yeah. All right. So David doesn't like Barclays either. What do you like, David, other than American Express?
Hey, Amex is king. I wonder if he has.
Amex is king.
I wonder if he has like an American Express comforter and a pillowcase and the poster.
Yeah. We're just teasing you, David. We're just teasing you.
I'm just teasing
you. Yeah, so okay, we are going to go ahead and end it now. Thank you very much, Jason. But before we end the live stream, do you have any other contact info that you want us to share other than your channel?
At the moment, I don't. Like, I feel like for as busy as I am on a day-to-day basis, to have to manage more than one thing at the moment is pretty tough. I think, creating and uploading videos takes a lot of time in itself as well. So I kind of keep it to that. I've been debating on whether or not I want to start a WhatsApp group myself, just like you, or if people want to, they can go to my one of my most recent videos, look in the comment section, and I have my Reddit. Basically my Reddit link. And if you want to follow me on Reddit and we can kind of talk on there, if you want to establish something right there, that'd be cool too. So right now,
you have a Reddit group right now, you said, or you're in a Reddit group?
I have a Reddit group. It's not established. Like nobody's following me. Nobody, I'm small fries. Come on, man. So
yeah, I don't even know how Reddit really works.
Well, it's free, and there's a lot of there's a lot of information you can get on there. So so I started my own little Reddit chat or whatever. So if anybody wants to go, what I can do, let me see. I can put it in the chat here right now.
Yeah, if you do that, that'd be great.
Yeah, let me see if I can find the link for it. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, no worries. So David, he's talking about the app. So David's talking about Barclay apps suck. And then what did he say? So he says Barclay is fine. It's just the app that he doesn't like. Chase is great too. Yeah, let me put that one up. Chase is great too. We'll show that to everybody. Yeah, so you're on record now. This is recorded, so we all know that you said that, David. It's just Chase Sapphire Preferred. That's what he doesn't like.
Oh no, yeah, I agree, and I have the card. I'm ready to get rid of it, but I have to wait until September to upgrade it. So
you can upgrade to the reserve then.
Exactly.
And I've been saying this, and I hope somebody out there, Chase, is listening at some point. But they need to revamp that card and give us something close to that, to Amex Gold. That would be a real good move for them, and give us different categories. So you don't have just the You don't even have to have the travel category. Have something like the grocery stores and stuff like that with the Chase Sapphire Preferred Plus or something like that. I think that would be an amazing card, because right now no one wants a Chase Sapphire Preferred. I mean, it's a good starter card, yes. If you don't want to jump, like if you're not comfortable jumping to that $450 annual fee card, which most people starting out, they might not be comfortable doing that, and I totally understand that. Then get that Chase Sapphire Preferred. But the only thing is, at some point, you're going to want to upgrade. You're going to want to up it to the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Once you get into the game, you realize how good it is. Are you able to find the link?
So the link is too long, and so I'm going to link the video. And basically, let me see, what video is it? It is the my Chase Ink Unlimited review video. And
Okay.
if you go down into the comments, the link to the Reddit post or to my Reddit, profile is there. So if you want to start your own Reddit account, it's free, and then you can follow my Reddit group, and then we can kind of communicate through there. I'd like to get some type of community going, just based off of my followers and anything like that, just to kind of be able to vibe with you guys on a personal level. But and just talk points and miles. I think it's everyone that knows anything about points and miles can contribute. I want people helping people, and all of us just kind of living that good life together. So I'm gonna put it right there in the chat right now. And
Okay.
David said, "Burn my CSP for a video." I totally would burn it if I was able to get that Elon Musk flamethrower. If I could get that, then I would do it. I would definitely get that Elon Musk flamethrower, and I would throw it on that CSP for sure.
It has metal in it, so it's not going to completely burn. But
yeah, I know. But it would be nice. It would be nice to see. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, and I will put Jason's information as far as his channel and everything in the description, so you guys can check that out if you're watching it after the stream. But yeah, Jason, thank you very much for stopping by, and we will be doing this in the future. I think we did a real good job today. We answered a lot of questions, and that's what it's all about. Just like Jason was saying,
for
help everyone, and so that's our goal here, to try to help you guys travel more and use your points. And I think it's good. The main reason I wanted to bring guests on is because I have my certain viewpoint, and I'm going to have David on the show too, and he's going to have his viewpoint of American Express, and we have Jason. He has his viewpoint and different cards that he uses, Hilton, and I don't do anything when it comes to Hilton, so I don't have any information on that. So I think it's a good way for us to share all this information.
Yeah, and then so one last thing, I also have my Credit One Platinum NASCAR edition card that I wanted to link out there.
Go ahead.
I'm just messing with you guys.
Some people have those cards, man.
Yeah, I know, man. I feel sorry.
People have the card and be like, wait, what's wrong with the card?
Yeah, man. I just feel so bad for the uneducated on this topic, man. People just get it. So,
yeah. All right. Daniel says, great show. Thank you guys all.
Daniel. Thanks, man.
And we will definitely do another one soon. Yeah, that's all I have. Do you have anything else?
No, man. Probably the next time you guys see me on your channel, my background and my setup will be a little bit different. So I'll be in a new place. So it'll be nice. I won't feel so, uncomfortable.
Got it.
Yeah.
You have it all set up.
Definitely.
All right, guys. Thanks for stopping by, and we will see you. Actually, I'll be back on next Saturday, but I will be putting out a video. I'm putting out a video a day, so I'll be putting out a video tomorrow throughout the rest of the week, and then on Saturday we'll do another live stream. All right, guys. Take care. Have a good one.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Peace.